Hey everybody, okay, it has happened. I just got out of the theater for Scream 7 and drove home. It's like a 5 minute drive, and I had to peel off the cosplay. Already got it, got the robe hanging up here already, got the mask wiped out and put back up here. I did wear it, did a few pictures and stuff. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of crazy watching the entire film through the mask, though. That was a bit of a chore. It could have been a little clearer, but it was worth it to go there in the cosplay. It was definitely cool. And no, I didn't see any other ghost faces dressed up. The theater was pretty full. I mean, it's a Thursday night, so I know it's not as not as busy, I'm sure, as some other spots, but very cool. My out of theater reaction, I gotta say, I kind of agree with Chris Stanley quite a little bit on his review he posted yesterday, because he caught it yesterday. And of course, spoiler free, as you know. But he basically said he enjoyed the first two acts, didn't really care for the third act as much, the reveal and all that kind of stuff. And I totally know what he's talking about. um, I'm not really sure where I would rank it in the franchise. Just I have to collect the thoughts a little bit, I guess, and really digest it a little more. But I will say it was a fun movie. It was definitely a Scream movie. I was enjoying it quite a bit for those first two acts, and by the time we got to the reveal and stuff, yeah, they lost me a little bit with it, and I guess I kind of wish they had done things a little bit differently. I suppose personally, I would have liked to see that, but it's honestly not bad. I still say there's no bad Scream movie, but this one, it had its moments, and it had its silly moments. There's definitely a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about that I really can't without spoiling stuff. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not really sure, like I said, where it's going to rank in the overall franchise for me. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time watching it. It was good. It's just like I said, the direction they went with a few things, I would have loved to have seen differently. Like I feel like when I got out of there, I was thinking, I guess, like, oh, what could have been, like it really could have been super cool, and it turned out to be okay, and then it got a little silly. Like there were certain things that remind me a bit of like Scream 6, where I really enjoyed that one too, and it was pretty brutal. There were some pretty brutal kills in this, and then the ending got a little silly with the killers and stuff. Again, without giving anything away, this one wasn't quite like that, but it was yeah, it was definitely a little different. So I think the big thing was you could really tell that there were changes that were made to this. I mean, the whole thing with Jenna Ortega and of course Melissa Barrera and the controversy and all that stuff. I know that's a big topic, and with the critic reviews and stuff, it looked like it was getting pretty political and stuff. There's a lot of comments about that, and oh, we need them, and all this and that. Personally, I like their characters. I always did. I thought the story was okay, for 5 and 6 and everything. Like I said, there is no bad Scream film. But honestly, I wasn't watching that missing them. If I'm being dead honest, I was still into the story. And I mean, to see Nev Campbell back, I mean, that's my, Scream queen, I guess you could say, right? Like, I was 20 years old when that movie came out, and it was just aimed right at my audience. The characters were playing high school students. I had recently just graduated, and pretty much every one of the cast is older than me, anywhere from like 3 to 6 years or so, maybe more. But anyway, I feel like it was aimed at me, So I feel like this is kind of my franchise, my grown-up franchise, for all like the little kids that started with Freddy and Jason and everything. So Scream's always been pretty important to me. So I haven't really let the political stuff get in the way. I would never consider a boycott or anything like that. That's, for me, that's crazy. It's Scream. I'm not going to boycott Scream. And again, nothing against Melissa Barrera. She's great, and I thought she had the right to say what, you know, her opinion and not have that kind of thing happen. That was crappy. You know, don't agree with that. But whatever. Again, I don't get into all that kind of stuff. So I think ultimately, though, it definitely hurt the flow of the story a bit. Like, I'll say, you know, Chad and Mindy, of course, are in this, as you guys know. It's one of those things where it's like, do they need to be in here? You know? I mean, it's good that they're in there. I like them as characters, and it's good to keep it relevant and everything. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it was exactly necessary. You know, it reminded me a bit of how in Halloween Ends, you probably didn't even need Michael Myers in that film. You know, Corey could have done his own thing. It could have been some kind of a, you know, Haddonfield curse or something. Or I just felt like that part wasn't exactly necessary. But anyway, overall, it was still a good time. I would probably give it, it's tough to say, probably between 7 and 7.5. So, you know, passable as good, like most Scream films. So I'm just not sure how I would rank them yet. I'll have to sleep on that. But I would like to talk about it some more when we can talk about spoilers and such. But I mean, if you're a fan of Scream, you should go and check it out for sure. Yeah, but for me, really enjoyed the first 2 acts. The third act, I was kind of like, whoa, I just wouldn't do things this way, I guess, right? So anyway, it's cool that it's out, so go check it out if you're a fan. Let me know what you think. Please don't post any spoilers in this, for now anyway. You know, like, we'll get a chance to talk about that in a few days, I suppose. But for now, just because it is still so new, you know, I'd appreciate it with, you know, no spoilers or anything in the comments. But yeah, it was a fun experience. It was fun doing the cosplay. I'll show you a couple of pics here that I had taken. I ended up sitting down right next to a mom with her young son, and she was sitting next to me, and she switched seats with him, I think, because she was a little bit freaked out. But she was okay, because just, you know, a little bit later, she asked me for a picture with him, right? So it was pretty cool. Anyway, it was good times. You know, it's a Scream film. I'm excited that it's out, and there you go. So we'll dive into it a little bit later when we can talk spoilers. But that's it for now, guys.